Everywhere you look, if you go on the internet, you can find this. Think, please. People don't go to A&E. Best recognised brand in the world, but don't use it. There's even websites called Don't Go to A&E. This is one of the websites in London devoted to telling people not to go to A&E. A bit like saying Starbucks makes the nicest coffee, but we'd rather you didn't go there. Even when I do my clinic, I do it beside one of these hospital signs. I've asked the patients to come back to clinic, but there's a sign there saying don't come. All this telling people not to come to A&E, does it work? Monitor, of course, in 2015, they thought that A&E, due to all the things we're doing to divert people, we'd reduce our attendances by 15%. So were Monitor right, do you think? Well, that's the King's Fund figures from their September quarterly report. Emergency attendances have gone up by nearly 3%, and emergency admissions from A&E by over 4%. So their downturn of 15% was optimistic, to say the least. And we've got a problem, because we're trying to swim against the tide of time and of geography, because this is attendances at EDs all over the developed world. And if you notice here, there's the UK. So the idea that all these hypochondriacal Brits go to A&E more than anybody else isn't true. Healthwatch 2 years ago, they said that 20% of people admitted going to A&E with conditions they knew weren't urgent. They did this because the other places were closed and because they couldn't find their way through the maze that's urgent care in our country at the moment. The Patients Association, they said that lots of people had already contacted the GP surgery, and of those, half nearly had been offered an appointment on the same day. But they didn't want to go, because the perception of people is also a very important thing. They don't believe they can get the health care they want in urgent circumstances out of hospitals. But this brand continues to attract people, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. A brand is a promise or a guarantee. It's something that tells you you'll get what you want, what you're paying for or what you're looking for. The big German brands like BMW, obviously, great examples of that. And you can even have double brands like this. Audi are playing on the quality of German engineering. All the elements combined together. There's Ferraris, symbols, colours, all coming together. And there's another great double brand. The NHS is the first part of the double brand. The A&E is the second bit of the double brand. It's open all round the clock. Doesn't cost you anything at the point of access, and now you're guaranteed, or we hope you're guaranteed, to be seen somewhere near within 4 hours. And branding experts say A&E is a super brand. It stimulates this kind of automatic response, and these automatic patterns of behaviour are very, very, very difficult to change. A&E is a 50-year-old brand. It's a very long established one. And in actual fact, Kahneman, who was a Nobel Prize-winning economist, he said there's two ways of thinking. There was this kind of way of slow, careful, thinking, proper thinking, if you like. This is when you drive a car for the first time, you're thinking about everything you do. And then there's the kind of automatic driving, which you do when you're used to driving a car, where you just do what you have to do. And this is the kind of thinking that we're up against. People are making automatic decisions based on long-established patterns of behaviour. And these are what they call the brand assets. The colour, the shape, the time, the place, they all come together to make the brand. And you can use these brand assets in a positive way. Nurofen uses them for sub-branding, so you can buy all these different types of Nurofen, which have got really not too much to do with the original Nurofen. So we've had 50 years of unintentionally building this massive brand and its brand assets, somewhere where the lights are always on. And the branding experts, well, what's their solution? Well, they say, don't fight the A&E brand. Don't spend thousands of pounds on the internet. Don't spend thousands of pounds with signs. You're fighting a losing battle here. Extend the A&E brand. And they call this brand stretch. So we need to give the public what they want. They want that for major emergencies, and they want that for minor emergencies. A cut-down version of A&E. Let's not call it urgent care centres. Let's not call it something else. Let's call it a different type of A&E, a sub-brand of A&E. If you like, a green A&E, a walk-in A&E. We've got to use the brand to give people what we want. So if people keep walking across the grass, what can you do? Well, you can stand there and chase them away with a baseball bat, or you can build a path. Thank you.